You know, I thought I was gonna declutter a lot, but so far we've only decluttered 3 bronzers. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. I am back from vacation, you guys. Y'all can see my braids. I feel like they look more put together now because when I first got them, I didn't really have my edges, laid. So I feel like I did okay. I mean, let me know what y'all think. Did I do good? Y'all know this is not something I usually do, but let me know how it looks, if I, got them, looking cute or whatever. But yes, girl, I am filming this video for the second time. This is going to be my entire bronzer collection, and I told y'all in my the vlog before last that I had to refilm it because the first time I filmed it, the audio was off, and that was actually one of my pre-recorded videos that I was gonna have uploaded while I was on vacation. But today we're doing it, and I'm excited because I have a couple of new bronzers that I want to swatch with you guys. I haven't really tried them on the face, but they are brand new, and I'm also going to share all of my older bronzers, just my entire bronzer collection. I think I want to get rid of a few because I haven't touched them in forever. So I might do like a mini declutter in this video as well. I don't know. But really, I just want to show you guys all the bronzers I have. And if you are on the hunt for a new bronzer, hopefully this kind of helps. I have a good girl. Like, let me just show you my bag. Ugh. It's a little heavy, but I squeezed every single one of my bronzers in this bag. And a couple of you were asking me about this bag because I have showed it in a few videos, and it is a Sephora collection makeup bag. I don't know if they still have it on Sephora, but it was like a collab and it was limited edition. But anyway, we're getting off subject, but let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to show you guys the first 2 newer bronzers. I just ordered the new Huda bronzer, and I see that there are more bronzers coming out. So I will be ordering those, trying those, because you guys know this is what I do. I like to try the products and share them with you guys. But the first 2 bronzers I want to share, like I said, are my newer ones, and these are ones that I shared in my last collective haul, but I haven't swatched the Dior one yet, so that's what we're gonna do. But this is the Dior Forever Natural Bronze bronzer in the shade Deep Bronze. So hopefully you guys can see the swatches really good. I really hope you can, but this is how the bronzer looks. I'm very excited for this one. I feel like I'm more excited for this one than I am the Chanel, and this one is a newer shade in the Chanel bronzer. But let me go ahead and, ooh, this is silky. Really, really, really silky. So what I'm gonna do is swatch it on my hand, and of course you all will see these in like makeup tutorials and testing new product videos and stuff like that. But there's a swatch. Hold on, let me get another one. It's actually not as deep as I thought it would be, but there it is right there. So any bronzer that I'm showing today, let me know if you guys have it, and let me know your thoughts on the bronzer. And also, I have all of my, well, not all, but I have most of my foundation, well, the foundation that I use the most, in the description down below. So that way, if you are my foundation twin, or if you feel like your complexion is close to mine, you can see what foundations, what shades I use in the foundations, and maybe, hopefully that will help. But yeah, that's the Dior bronzer. Next, I have the Chanel Cream Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream in the shade Deep Tan. Now, y'all know this has been out forever. And they only had one shade, but they came out with a deeper shade, and I feel like this is honestly not even gonna be something that I could use, because once I swatched it with y'all in the collective haul video, I wasn't really like blown away from it. But the texture is really, really, really thin and creamy, and it just doesn't seem like it'll be I don't know, maybe something I would use in the wintertime, because I did get a little tan while I was on vacation. So I highly doubt this is something that would work for me. But here's a swatch right there. If you guys are wondering what bronzer I have on right now, it's the Danessa Myricks. This has become my favorite bronzer out of all the bronzers that I have in my collection. That's cream. So, and I honestly don't even have a lot of bronzers that are like cream. So yeah, this is definitely my favorite. This is the one that I took with me on vacation, and y'all can see how gorgeous it is on the skin. It's really, really, really rich. So you have to have a really light hand when you use this, but it's so, so creamy and rich. A little bit of this goes a very, 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 very long way. So yeah, that is the Danessa Myricks cream bronzer, and this one is in the shade Deep. I remember doing a bronzer video like this about a year ago, almost a year and a half ago. And a couple of people were asking what was the difference between a bronzer and a contour. So bronzers are to warm up the face. You can see that my face is really warm around the perimeter. So around the sides of my face right here and right here on my forehead. So that's where I apply bronzer. But if you use a contour is gonna really sculpt the face out more. So it's gonna look more defined, more like, but I don't like to use contours. I prefer a bronzer because I love that bronzy, warm glow on the skin. All right, next I have the Fenty Beauty bronzer. This is their newer shade in the shade Thick Mint. This is the one that I like out of all the other ones. Let me actually pull those out since I'm talking about the Fenty bronzer. All right, so Mocha Mami, Thick Mint, and Cocoa Naughty. I had the cream ones, but I actually ended up decluttering those. I didn't like how the cream looked on my skin. I felt like it wasn't warm enough for me. That's definitely something that I could use if I wanted to contour my face, but I didn't really like their the cream ones that came in the same packaging as this. But this is Mocha Mami. I did an entire video on all three of these. If you guys want to see a comparison between all three, you can definitely check it out. But Mocha Mami is definitely more red. It's really, really, really warm on the skin. This is something I would use right now in the summertime. But if I want more of a warmth like this, but a little bit more red on the skin, if that makes any sense. So here's Mocha Mami. Like I said, I have a whole video on these. And then I have Cocoa Naughty. Now this is the bronzer I would use in the fall and winter time because it's not as warm on the skin. It gives me enough warmth, but it's definitely something I wouldn't use right now since I do have a little bit of a tan, but it's really, really, really natural and pretty on the skin, and it still definitely works for my complexion. So there is Cocoa Naughty. I know it looks a little light, but I promise you it looks really, really pretty on the skin. And then Thick Mint, this one is my favorite out of all three of them. They did so good with this because this is Mocha Mami, but deeper and not as red. So here is the swatch right there. Look at that. It's like the perfect, perfect, perfect shade. And you guys are going to hear me say perfect throughout this whole video because I have a lot of bronzers that I feel like are the perfect, perfect, perfect bronzer shade for my complexion. But they're all three right there. All right, so this next one is actually a palette. This is a face palette. I use it as bronzer, but it's really like a blush and highlighter palette. But if you want a full-on highlighter, blush / bronzer palette, this is it. This is it. I've raved about this so much in the past. I honestly don't know why I'm not using it anymore. But these two shades right here are what I use for my bronzer. This one is the perfect, see, I told y'all I was going to say perfect. The perfect shade for spring and summer. Is really deep and rich and just, it's just so freaking pretty. But like I said, it's a blush, but you can use it as a bronzer if you want. I mean, it's marketed as a blush. I think on the description on Sephora, it says blush highlighter palette, but it definitely looks really pretty as a bronzer on my collection. And then this shade right here, I would say this is really close to Fenty Cocoa Naughty because it's that really pretty light, natural color, but it doesn't look too light on the skin. Like it gives you the perfect amount of warmth, especially if you're wanting something, well, if you are my complexion and you're wanting that really warm, soft, natural bronze in the fall and winter time. But yeah, those are those right there. And like I said, this is a blush. I mean, you can wear them as blush. They look really pretty as blush. So, but yeah, that's that. And this is the deep one. They have 3 palettes in total, and this is the darker one that I have. I need some makeup wipes, y'all. I'm using these dry napkins, dry face cloths that I got from Amazon. This little case right here is from Amazon, and also these little face towels from Amazon. But they work, but I just feel like I need some makeup wipes because we are gonna swatch a ton of things. Okay, another palette another face palette. This is the Cover FX Perfector face palette. This has bronzer, highlighter, and a blush in it. So this color right here, honestly, y'all, I really wish Cover FX gave us like this shade by itself. They have little, do I have it? Yep, I have it right here. They have bronzers, but they're not deep. So this one is marketed as the contour shade, but I use it as a bronzer because it's really warm. And this one is the medium deep palette. So here is a swatch of that. See how warm that is? Definitely something that I wouldn't use as contour on my complexion, because it does give me that bronze warm look that I like in a bronzer. But I really wish that they came out with this on its own, because to be completely honest, I rather purchase like single compacts than a full-on face palette, because I don't really reach for face palettes as much. I'd rather have something that's by itself than purchasing the entire palette just to get one shade out of the palette. But I will say the Sephora Pro face palette is definitely worth it because the blush shades in here are bomb. Like, they're really, really, really pretty and warm, perfect for every day. You have this one right here, which is a good everyday shade. You have your bright colors, you have beautiful highlighters, and this looks really pretty on the eyes. So this is definitely worth it. But the Cover FX one, girl, I don't even touch these. Like, this is the only thing I touch in this palette, so I'm just being honest. But anyway, going back to the other Cover FX, this is the Monochromatic Bronzer Duo in the shade Suntan Bronze, and this is their darker one. Y'all, this right here, I know we're talking about bronzers, but this shade right here is so pretty as a blush topper. It's a really gorgeous, like rose gold bronzy, like it's just so pretty as a blush topper. But this right here is the bronzer, and y'all can see it looks really, really, really light. I have worn this a couple of times, and I find that this is one that I would wear when it's cold, like winter, because I don't really have a tan in the wintertime. So here's the swatch of that one. See how it looks really, really light, like really, really light. But once you brush it on the face, it doesn't look like that. It kind of gives me more of that pinky, I don't know. It's like it's not red, it's not super warm, but it does kind of give me a pinky type of look. So I would say this is good as a blush on my complexion if I don't have a tan. So, but yeah, that is that one. Morphe bronzers. I have Leader, and then I have Phenom. Phenom was the first one I purchased, and then they came out with more shades. This was my favorite bronzer out of, like, I would use this the most, point blank period. And I just stopped using it because, I mean, there are tons of other ones that I wanted to try out, but this one is, it's just to compare both of them. So let me show you. Leader is definitely warmer on my skin. I know they look really, really similar in the pan, but Leader is richer, it's deeper, it's more, it's just everything, y'all. Everything. So there's Leader right there, and then Phenom. Swatch her right there. So between the, well, actually, no. Let me kind of tilt my hand down some so y'all can see. So looking at these, you would think Fenty Cocoa Naughty and Fenty Mocha Mami, but Leader is not as red as Mocha Mami. Phenom is definitely close to Cocoa Naughty in my opinion. Maybe a little bit darker, but they're definitely some good bronzers. Super affordable. So yeah, those are Morphe. I have some other ones that are really, really similar to the Morphe bronzers. Revolution Pro. Makeup Revolution. Is it Revolution Pro or Makeup Revolution? I don't know, girl, but they're from Revolution. It's the Revolution Glow Matte Bronzer. I have dark and then I have medium. Y'all, if y'all didn't get any of these bronzers, if they still have them available, get them. They have, like, the range is there. This is dark, and okay, look at this. And then look at medium. I don't think I've ever purchased a bronzer that's called medium for my complexion, but look at this, y'all. Look at this. And they have shades that are darker than this, like, well, that are darker than dark. So medium is perfection. Both of them are perfect, but if I had to choose between the two, I would choose medium because medium doesn't look as it doesn't look as red on my complexion, but y'all, I need a makeup wipe because my hand is definitely getting all the like, you can still see some bronzer on my hand. So I need to get something to wipe off all of this, but hopefully y'all can see that. That's medium right there at the bottom. Actually, let's do this. Let's just, so y'all can actually see the swatch, like see it like that. So there's medium right there. And then dark, which looks a little bit more red on my complexion, but it's still a perfect bronzer. So there's dark right there, right up under medium. So you can see they're both really, really, really nice bronzers, like really nice, super affordable. And since we're talking about this, let me just go ahead and pull out my Charlotte Tilbury. These, what's the shade? I think it's dark, is a dupe to the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. This is in the shade Deep. And Charlotte Tilbury is pretty pricey, you guys. This is like a $55 bronzer. And you can see that they both have really big pans. So here's Charlotte, and I'll actually swatch Charlotte Tilbury right beside, right up under the Revolution bronzer. So it's definitely a good dupe to dark. I mean, it's literally spot on, y'all. Spot on. So there it is right there. Yeah, I should have started swatching everything on my wrist in the first place, but whatever. Okay, now that we've finished talking about Charlotte Tilbury, I want to pull out a powder that is also a good alternative to the Charlotte Tilbury powder. It's not a bronzer, but I use it as a bronzer, and it is perfection. It's the Loreal Infallible Fresh Wear Pressed Powder. So this, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch Charlotte and show you guys how this looks beside it, but it's a foundation powder, and the shade I use is Deep Amber. This is definitely warm enough to use as a bronzer. So if you don't want to purchase something over $10 that's a bronzer, then this is a great alternative. If you are my complexion, this is, I'm not even gonna say it again. I keep saying perfect, but it's literally perfect, y'all. The color is perfection. Perfection. Look at that. Just look at that, y'all. Perfection. Now let me show you Charlotte. Let me show you her. Even the formula of the Sephora, why am I saying Sephora? The Loreal powder, it's just as silky and like it feels like Charlotte Tilbury. Just like it, y'all. It feels just, that's okay. So that's Charlotte right there. You can see the one from Loreal is a tad bit darker, but when you put it on the face, you can't even tell a difference. Honestly, you cannot tell a difference. Both of them, I mean, look at the swatch. Look how smooth that went on. The one from Loreal. And then look at Charlotte Tilbury. Smooth, both of them. Just smooth and buttery. So yeah, this is probably the best, one of the best dupes that I found in my collection. And not only just the color, but as far as like the formula of the product, it's literally Charlotte Tilbury dupe. And again, the color is Deep Amber. I'm pretty sure you can find other shades in this, like if you are if you're not my complexion and you want to try it as a bronzer, I'm pretty sure that you can probably make it work. But this, that's it. Okay, let's talk about another Morphe bronzer. This is the Brontour bronzer in the shade Showmance. I like this. Only way I use it though is if I swirl my brush. I mean, I can use this shade by itself, but I like how it looks when I swirl my brush around because, so this is the contour, and then this shade over here is the bronzer, but the bronzer is too shimmery. It's just too light for me. It looks more like a highlighter on me anyway. So there's the bronzer. But once I put it on the skin, it looks like a legit gold highlighter. So I just swirl my brush and it picks up the contour shade. This shade is honestly not like it's warm. So it doesn't look like a contour on my complexion. So that's why I like it as my bronzer. So yeah, just swirl your brush if you have this, and it gives you the warmth, and it also gives you a little bit of the glow from the actual bronzer shade in here. So again, that is called Showmance. All right, so this next one is actually a collab with NeonMUA. You guys know, well, if you don't know, he is also a creator, and he collabed with Midas Cosmetics to create his own face palette, y'all. There are 4 in total, and this one is this one the second to last or the last one? I don't know, but this one is Dusk. And you have a blush, highlighter, contour, and bronzer. So here's what it looks like. And remember I said I don't really use contours, but this contour shade is a shade that I can actually use as a bronzer if I wanted to. And let me show you what the bronzer looks like. So there's the contour and then the bronzer. So here we are. I mean, bomb. Bomb, bomb, bomb. So pretty. And the formula of this palette is super, super, super rich and creamy. Like, I mean, it's powder, but it's not, it doesn't feel powdery. It's really smooth. It blends out really good on the skin. But yeah, I really, really, really like this one. And I like the fact that I can use the contour as a bronzer if I wanted to. If I wanted something a little bit more rich on the skin, I would use the contour as the bronzer. But the bronzer itself is really, really, really beautiful on the skin. It's not too red. So if you don't like bronzers to be super red on the skin, then this is definitely a good one to try out. So that's that one. Moving on to e.l.f. Cosmetics. I'm gonna actually go ahead and declutter this one because I've had this for years, honestly. And the only shade I use in here is this color right here. And I don't even use it as a bronzer because it doesn't look like a bronzer on my complexion. I use it to contour my nose. So if you guys ever watch my makeup tutorials, I always use a bronzer or a contour shade right here on the side of my nose. Today I'm wearing the Patrick Ta, and I've been using that one every time I do my makeup anyway. So I'm just gonna go ahead and declutter this one. But let me show you guys the swatch of this bronzer. This has it's kind of gray. It's like a gray ashy color on my complexion if I use it as a bronzer. So that's why I always like to put it right here instead. So there is the color right there. It's like a pinky grayish looking color when I put it on, but there it is. And this is actually the deepest one, the deepest palette that they have. You know what, speaking of declutter, let's just go ahead and declutter some that I've already shown. I'm gonna declutter the Cover FX Monochromatic bronzer and also the Cover FX face palette because, I mean, I don't use it. I don't reach for it, and yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and declare that. So far, Cover FX, both from Cover FX, e.l.f. Cosmetics. Do I want to declutter any of the Morphe ones? Not yet. Not yet, girl. You know, every time I do a makeup declutter, I always tell myself I can't get rid of the Anastasia bronzer because I just can't. Like, I cannot get rid of this thing. This is in the shade Mahogany. It's like one of the best bronzers in my collection, and I honestly don't know when I will ever declutter it. Like, I actually have a good dent in this thing. I feel like I would literally hit pan if I started using it again. And honestly, this is gonna go, yeah, I'm gonna have to start back using it and put it in my everyday makeup drawer back there, which I need to go ahead and organize. Anyway, girl, this is in the shade Mahogany, and it is one of my favorite bronzers in my collection. It's super rich. It's definitely, it's matte, but it's not like, I don't know, girl. It just looks good. It just looks really, really, really good on the skin, and it's honestly one of my favorite products from Anastasia Beverly Hills, to be completely honest. I have another, I thought I had 2 of these. Actually, I did have 2. I decluttered the other one. It's just a different formula. This is the Alamar Cosmetics Hydrating Complexion Trio. So this has a, I don't know, let me, hold on girl, because it's like a highlighter. Okay, a brightening shade. It has a brightening shade, a bronzer shade, and a deepener shade to create depth. But the deepener shade is what I use for my bronzer because it's definitely warm. It's like super duper 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 warm. This color right here I also have used as a bronzer before. It's just like during the winter months when I don't really have a tan on my skin, and I know it looks really light in the pan, but once you put it on, it actually pulls a little red on the skin. So if you love your red toned bronzers, that is what this gives. See how warm that is? And then the last one, well, the last shade in here, which is the deepener shade, which is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful as a bronzer. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. Now this has a little bit of a, if you look at it really close, you can see a sheen. And this is the hydrating one. So the first one that they came out with, I felt like it was a little bit more matte on the skin. This is going to give you more of a kind of like a sheeny type of glow, especially if you look like, if you see your skin in the, like in the sunlight. But it's nice. And if you have dry skin, this is a good palette because it's the hydrating one. So the shades are the same. It's just the formula is a little bit different. I have 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes, 3 discontinued bronzers that I honestly don't know why the brand, like why would brands do this? You know, like why? This is the e.l.f. Cosmetics bronzer in the shade Deep. And this one, this color is, I want to say they still have it, but the only way you can get it is if you run across it like in Walmart or Target, or if you find it maybe like on Amazon or eBay or something like that. But I feel like the price is going to be jacked up because they don't sell it anymore. But and they actually have, I think, their lightest shade that they still sell on their website, but I honestly don't know why they would discontinue this. This is a great dupe to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Mahogany. Yeah, Mahogany. Was it Mahogany? Girl, I done forgot my shade. Yes, Mahogany. And I did a drugstore versus high-end dupe video on this a couple of years ago. But definitely a good alternative to the Anastasia. I mean, it's actually a good alternative to quite a few bronzers that I've shown, because a lot of these bronzers are really similar in color. I just wish that they did not discontinue this. Look how pretty that is. And it actually works on my complexion. This is the only freaking bronzer from e.l.f. Cosmetics that looks like a bronzer on my complexion. It gives me the warmth, it gives me the glow, because it does have a little bit of shimmer in it, but it's not super duper noticeable. But girl, I don't even know what e.l.f. is doing with the bronzer palette that they have now. And I think they came out with these little bite-sized bronzer things. Like, why would they discontinue something that actually works on brown skin? Like, I don't understand. Now, I'm not decluttering any of the bronzers that I have that are discontinued, because I mean, I can't get them anymore, so why would I declutter it? Anyway, the next one I have is Milani. This thing right here, if y'all have been watching me forever, back in the day when I used to rave about this, Jackie Aina put me on this. This was the bronzer of all affordable drugstore bronzers. And it's actually not a bronzer, it's a foundation powder. But the shade is called Earth Glow. Girl, if you can find this somewhere on the internet, whether that's eBay, I don't know, Amazon, if you can find this thing, if it's not over, I was going to say if it's not over $20, because I know the price is going to be jacked up if it's on the internet somewhere. But it's the best. It's the best. It's the freaking best bronzer that I have discovered from the drugstore. And it was how much was it on Milani back then? It was like $6.99, I think. Super duper affordable. Super duper affordable. Look at this. Creamy, rich. It almost feels like the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer because it has that really soft, silky, creamy feel. But girl, this is it. This is it. And girl, I don't even know when I'll ever declutter. I'm not gonna ever declutter that. That's gonna stay with me forever. All right, the last one that is Discontinued, which is from ColourPop. I can't remember the shade of this because this came separately. I had to buy the actual pan, the bronzer by itself. And then I purchased the this little compact to go with it so that way I can put the pan in it. But what color is this? Bits and Pieces. I think that's what it's called, Bits and Pieces. Like, why do brands discontinue products that we don't have? You know, like something that actually works on deeper complexions. Like, why would they do that? There it is. And then they come out with they come out with new products, and then it'd be something like trash, you know? This one also has a little bit of shimmer, but it's not super duper noticeable on the face. But the bronzer, like the shade, is really, really pretty. It does kind of pull red on my complexion, but even so, it still looks really good, especially in the summer. Really, really, really good. So keeping that because she is discontinued. And yeah, Mented Cosmetics. Yacht Life bronzer from Mented. You need it in your life. This is the only one, because I remember I had all four, and this one was the only one that had a little bit of shimmer, and it has like gold specks, but it's still really pretty, y'all. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So here's Yacht Life. And the formula of this is also reminding me of the Charlotte Tilbury because it's so creamy and soft and silky. It's just, it's everything. Oh, if y'all ever, I totally forgot. If y'all ever want to shop Mented Cosmetics, I have a code. So if you want to save some money, I got to find it because I don't know it off the top of my head. I think it's Andrea. I think it's either Andrea or Andrea Renee. It's one of those, but I will have it in the description if y'all are interested in purchasing anything off Mented Cosmetics. It is an affiliate code, so if you purchase anything, I do get a small commission. Just keep that in mind. But if you do, thank you so much because that definitely supports the channel. Anyway, let's talk about Beauty Bakery. I did not know that they had these things in Target. And this is a bronzer. It looks like an eyeshadow because it's so tiny. It's called the Snackaroons bronzer, and the shade is Perfect Blend. Now, they only have 3 shades. The shade before this was super duper duper light, and the shade before that was like white. But I really wish that they had more shades because this is actually a nice bronzer. And I also wish that it was a little bit bigger because it's hard to put like a big bronzer brush in there in the product because it's so tiny. But it's also really pretty on the eyes too. Y'all know I love me a bronzer on the eyes. But let me swatch it. Did I tell y'all the color? Perfect Blend. I think that's the color. Or Snackaroons. I think it's called Perfect Blend. This definitely pulls red. So if you don't like the reds or the you know, reds, you probably won't like this. It's actually not too red. It's more of like a purple to me, but it looks so freaking good on the skin. I remember using this in a full face drugstore video. It was a few months back, but if y'all ever want to see like any bronzer that I mentioned in today's video, if I did it, if I filmed it, it will pop up. Just type in my name and then whatever the bronzer is, and then just type it in the YouTube search bar. And then if I filmed the video with it, if I included it in some type of way in a video, then the video will pop up on the page if you search it. But yeah, that is Beauty Bakery. You know, I thought I was gonna declutter a lot, but so far we've only decluttered 3 bronzers. Just 3, girl. This is the LYS bronzer. This has been sold out. Now, I haven't checked it yet but every time I talk about this thing on my channel, I always, you know, try to find the links for you guys so y'all can check it out. But every time I talk about this thing, every time I go to get the link, it is sold out. So if you can catch it, get it. It's the LYS Beauty No Limits matte bronzer in the shade Strength, and you can get this from Sephora, and they do have it on their main website as well if it's still available. This color really reminds me of my Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer in the shade Mahogany. It's not too red. It's just a perfect the perfect bronzer. It's gorgeous, just gorgeous. So there it is right there. And another this is another one that I've already shown and just, you know, use in makeup tutorials. So you guys can definitely find it if you search for it with my name attached. But yes, girl. All right, we're almost done. I promise we are almost done. I got like what, 5 left, maybe that. But anyway, Kaja. This is a blush, highlighter, and what is it called? The blush and bronzer trio. I don't know. It's just called, it's on the back. It says Marshmallow Play Bento Blush and Bronzer Highlighter. But you have it all in one. And this is perfect for travel. This is one that I'm actually featuring in. I have a full face testing new products video coming up. I have a lot of makeup videos coming up, y'all. So this is definitely going to be one that I'm featuring. I feel like I've waited quite a minute to try it out because I purchased this during the Sephora sale, which was weeks, almost a month, almost what, 2 months ago? Girl, I forgot, but definitely will be seeing this in a video coming up. It has the blush, the highlighter, and I hear great things about this thing. I got it because of Jasmine Airedale. She shared it and also used it, and I was sold. Actually, I saw it on Sephora, and I was like, ooh, this looks interesting. But I saw that Jasmine uploaded a video sharing it and swatching it and using it, and that's when I was sold, when I saw her use it. But anyway, this is the bronzer. So it's a cream bronzer, and here it is swatched. I feel like it's gonna be like my Danessa Myricks bronzer, where I just use a really small amount, and it's gonna give me, yo, this looks good. I cannot wait to use this. But anyway, yeah, I feel like it's definitely gonna give me that really rich, warm glow like Danessa Myricks if I use a really small amount of it. But it looks good, really good. It looked really good on Jasmine too. So my next favorite cream bronzer besides the Danessa Myricks is Soul Body. I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about this one. And I've actually heard this is a good alternative to the Huda Beauty one. The older one, not the new one, because she came out with a new one recently. But the older one, I don't know what it's called, but it comes in a square packaging. But I've actually heard people say that this is a good alternative for it, and I still want to try it. So I just don't know what color to get. If you have the Huda, let me know. Well, if you are my complexion and you have Huda, what shade do you use? Because I definitely want to try it out. But anyway, this is beautiful. It's not as rich as Danessa Myricks, but it gives me the perfect warmth on the skin, and the texture of it is like, it's really whippy. So there it is. You know what, I wonder if this, y'all, I just love this stuff. I love it. But I wonder if this, because the way it feels now that I'm feeling it again, because I haven't used this in a while, it kind of feels like the Chanel bronzer, but it's a little bit thicker than Chanel. And the one from Danessa Myricks, it actually feels a little bit more creamier than this. But I just wish Chanel came out with deeper shades. Like, this is the shade that we needed, plus more deeper ones in the Chanel bronzer. But this is nice, and it has a smell to it too. It smells like a pina colada, which I love. So if you want a really pretty glow for the summertime, I think this is the perfect one. And Danessa Myricks if you're wanting like a cream bronzer. Let's talk about Jouer. This is actually a bronzer, y'all. I remember sharing this. I did like a bronzer testing 3 or 4 different bronzers in one video. And this was one of them, and I had a comment in that video saying that this is a blush palette. They don't understand why I was saying this is a bronzer palette, but it is actually bronzer. So y'all know, well, if you don't know, she came out with blushes that look just like this. And then after that, she came out with bronzer. So this is the Deep to Dark Bronzer Duo in the shade Sun Glow and Sun Gaze. So if y'all watched the video where I tested out, I want to say it was 4 different bronzers. I used both of these shades by themselves, and I was really shocked because this shade right here, it looks light. Like, it looks really light. I probably can't even use it now, but let me swatch it. But once I applied it in that video, I was really, really shocked. All right, so there it is right there. And the formula of this is also really, really silky and smooth, and I love it. Sometimes I use bronzer as a blush. Like today, I don't even have a blush on today. I just use bronzer. That's it. Because sometimes I don't even want to have like color on my cheeks. I just want that bronzy glow, you know? And there's the darker shade right there. So this is another really nice palette. I don't really reach for I don't reach for a lot of these as much anymore because I've discovered like some holy grail favorites that I can't stop using. But now that I'm actually, you know, pulling them out, swatching them, sharing them with you guys, I think I'm going to start back using like rotating them because I definitely forgot how much I love some of these. We're down to the last 2 and then we will be done. So NARS, let's talk about NARS. Y'all know NARS have some ashy bronzers, like ashy. They had one that they came out with probably about a year or 2 ago. It was the deepest one, and when you look at it, you're like, oh, this looks good. This might work for deeper complexions, but girl, no. I saw reviews on that thing, and that thing was ashy. It was white. It was, I mean, not white, but it was it definitely did not match the picture that they had on the website and also on Sephora. But they do have another one that's deeper. It's in the shade Karimba. This shade has been, they had this on their site, but it always said coming soon. They had it up for the longest. And this same with Sephora. They had it up on Sephora, but it would always say coming, either sold out or coming soon. So finally it was available. Now I did receive this from one of my friends. She sent it over to me. Sophia, if you're watching, thank you. But it's in the shade Karimba, and this is their matte bronzer, and this one definitely did not disappoint. So let me show you the swatch of this. Nice. It's really nice. It's not ashy like the other one that they had. It just looks so pretty on the skin. It does pull a little red, if y'all can see the swatch right here, but it's not like ashy. So there it is, swatched right there. But yeah, that is the deepest shade that they have, and it's finally available if y'all were you know, wanting to try it out. Okay, last one, which is from Sephora. This is the Sephora Collection Bronzed Matte Bronzer in the shade number 6. She actually works on my complexion, and y'all know Sephora Collection doesn't really have, I mean, speaking of Sephora Collection, what did I do with it? What is that palette that I used to talk about? I still have it. I know I do. Dang, it's got to be somewhere in my closet. But it's another Sephora Collection face palette. It's the... Y'all know which one I'm talking about. I know you do, because I used to talk about that thing all the time. I used to share it. But it had a shade in it that I used as a bronzer. And it's like little circles. It's not square like the Sephora Pro one, but it's a small face palette. Anyway, that's another one that I really, really like that I use as a bronzer. But you can, I mean, it's a blush palette, but but it looks really pretty as bronzer. But anyway, that's another one that I would recommend if y'all are wanting like a full face palette and use it as your blush, bronzer, and highlighter. But I just forgot what it was called. But anyway, going back to this one. So this is how she looks. Really, really, really pretty and warm, you guys. Warm, warm, warm. And silky and smooth. Like, y'all, I mean, look at the swatch. It's not patchy. It just went on like, it looks really good. So there it is right there. It's so nice, y'all. Love, love, love. But yeah, the only ones that I probably need to go through this again, but the only ones that I'm decluttering, like I showed you earlier, are these from Cover FX in the e.l.f. Cosmetics bronzer palette. The other ones, I can't get rid of these right now. I might declutter Jouer. I might. Do I want her? I'm gonna keep her for now. Yeah. I don't know, y'all, but that is it, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if I shared any bronzers that you have. What are your thoughts on it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Did you discover any new ones in this video? If you did, which one was it? But that is it, girl. That is all that I have for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, give me a huge thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.